All right. Charles.
Here we go.
Charles didn't tell me.
Here we go.
I gotta take these dark glasses.
Dark glasses. I don't want
dark glasses.
There you go. Okay. So this should be really good.
Hello, I'm well. Nice to see you.
Did you tell me this was happening?
Well, you should have known.
Well,
You know we're always on for a rally.
You mean Dominic Cardy never told you?
Well, if he knew,
He was here.
Oh, if he knew, he would have told me. Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sure.
Are you coming to the Mayor Machine next weekend?
Where do you go? What's happening? Well, I did hear about something happening.
Public Health Care Summit, Mayor Machine next Saturday,
I heard about
11 to 5, national and provincial speakers.
Really?
It's going to be a worthwhile event.
Is that right?
You're going to hear just how bad.
Yeah, but we can fix it.
We can fix it, but we can't fix it by going down the road of privatization.
That's right. I agree.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. And then, the conversation you and I had about setting the bar higher and making it happen?
Yeah. It's got to
I
happen.
believe it.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. You can do
C'est
it.
pas patate.
There's Victor.
Mother of God.
Can't miss out on that opportunity. Yeah.
Let me go back to what I normally say.
Go
I
for
say
it.
Jesus, and then I say Mary and Joseph, pray for me.
Enjoy.
Nobody wants to talk to you. I guess it's
No,
only
well,
me.
hey, there's government coming.
Listen, I gotta ask you. Oh yeah. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
You want to go there? Should I film that? It's all the same BS. Listen, I got a beef with you.
Really?
Yeah, I got a beef with you. I got
That
a beef
hurts,
with you.
Charles.
I know. Okay, let's be honest. Route 11.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I want to put passing lanes in, and if we need moose fencing, things like that to make it safe, absolutely. Let's
But
do
there's
this.
so many people that died.
Charles,
on
if you
Route
look at the statistics on that route or other routes, we do not have the traffic that supports building these massive highways. We're doing it at the expense of rural roads that are not fit to drive on. We're basically causing people to avoid going through our rural communities because they're bypassing on these big highways. We're taking businesses that are, survived because of the traffic and bypassing. We did it on Route 1 going to St. Stephen. So you kind of say, just look at the statistics, look at the traffic counts that justify massive highways. Our traffic counts don't fit. And when I ran in 2010 initially, one of my issues that I was against was that 6-lane highway that was being proposed to go from from St. John to Quispam. A 6-lane. I drove that road for 30 years plus. We didn't need a 6-lane. We didn't need it then, and we don't need it now. I canceled that when I first got in government.
What about the human life factor? No amount of money can replace a human life. A lot of Acadians, a lot of Englishmen, a lot of Miramichi got killed on that highway.
Well, Charles, let's look at what...
between Moncton and St. John, there used to be a lot of people being killed until they got the 4-lane highway.
But I know you can say that about everything, but let's say we put that into a better healthcare model. Let's say that we're able to treat more severe cases here in the province, or we're able to have more early detection on other issues. I mean, everyone always applies that the safety card, and I'm not denying a 4-lane can be safer than a single-lane highway. But the point is, you can't have everything. You have to kind of balance. I mean, look at the levels of taxation we have in this province. If you look at other areas, I do a comparison on a road. The one is going from St. Stephen to Calais.
Okay.
Sorry, not Calais.
That's a short one.
To Bangor. Yeah, that's right. That's the bridge.
The airline route.
Go the airline route. That's right. Now, if you've been on that recently,
I rode a bicycle on it 40 years ago.
Well, all right. So now you can ride it safely.
Is it 4-lane there?
No. But there's all kinds of passing lanes. There's straightened out turns. They've done a wonderful job. That road is a pleasure to drive now. But it's not a 4-lane, and I'm sure it would have more traffic than our roads would have.
Yeah, and it's beautiful there, if I remember correctly.
It is.
It's in the woods.
We get fixated on these things, and it's about priorities. I mean, if we don't start to reflect what are the real priorities for us, I mean, we just can't keep throwing money at stuff without results.
Do you think, I always took you as an honest person, do you think the next election will be debated on language?
No.
Because, the Route 11, then they say, okay, up north, we need a 4-lane, why not us? They feel they're not wanted. And then you got the language commissioner. And
this has nothing to do with wanted or not wanted. This has to do with the reality of whether we need to do these things or whether we don't. And I mean, I was against the Route 1. I wouldn't have never twinned Route 1.
What's Route 1 again?
That's the one from St. John to St. Stephen.
Okay.
It does not have the traffic to support it, but it was half done when we started.
Sheldon Lee was involved in that, huh?
Well, he may have been at some point in the planning stages, but it's just, we have to build for New Brunswick. If we're going to protect New Brunswick, we've got to get a bill for New Brunswick.
So you don't see, like right now the province is half blue, half red. And we know because it's half blue, half red because of show gas. The western part said, well, oh yeah, we got to fight the deficit. Yes, we got to fight the deficit. Next thing you know, they're David Albert wins, and then next thing you know, there's a dumper truck in the backyard. Hey, what the hell is that doing in my backyard? Oh, well, you voted that. That was our policy. You got to fight the deficit. No, that was for those Indians were protesting in Kent County, not here. So it could turn into a language issue.
Well, now I don't know that it turned a language issue. There was a number of issues. It did divide the province. In the sense there were probably number.
I'm talking about the next election.
Oh, no, it shouldn't, because the next election needs to be about New Brunswick. What's important for New Brunswick, no matter where you live? I mean, if you look at, why were we interested in promoting industrial development? Because
we're doing so good.
We're just not able.
We're doing so good. My God, I don't have this too. I even ignore Danielle Boudreau. Why do they have to come? My God, we're a scrap. Beat it. We're doing very good. He's not hanging himself. He's right. It's just open. They don't see him like this too often.
Here. That's right.
Especially tell him to scram there. Okay.
No, he's fine.
He's fine. He's not going to say, okay, Mr. We have a meeting. We must look at that and say, get him the hell out of here fast. No, you don't think it'll be a language. It doesn't show. I'm just being honest.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We have to get beyond that and say, okay, what's important to every New Brunswicker here? And what's important? Is our healthcare, is our education system important? Do we have rural roads, both francophone and anglophone rural roads that are not fit to drive on? Do we have communities in a community school, be it francophone or anglophone, that is in danger of losing that school? And why? Because we're spending money on everything else, but trying to protect our heritage, trying to protect our culture, trying to protect our urban, rural areas, and trying to find a way to get maximum value of the tax dollars being spent.
We do spend a lot of money. And when those supporters in North Korea, when their great dictator speaks, they all clap and they're all happy. You know what?
They're forced to be happy.
I know. But you know what? I think everybody would clap like that. French, English, natives, everybody. Right. If someone would announce to eliminate the language commissioner, I think everybody would clap just really? Like, yes.
Well, I'll let you do the poll.
No, I agree 100%. Come on. But no.
You put out a poll and see.
No. But the language issue, that's not showing the Acadian are being cut off for Route 11 the way, maybe it didn't come out right. I was upset when I heard that. I said, when I see Blaine, I'm gonna go right. I was supposed to go after you next week, but you just hadn't be here.
What it does is we need to find
common sense.
Way to apply common sense no matter where you are in the province.
Moose fence, double lane.
And you apply it equally so people don't feel disadvantaged, because that's the problem, right? Oh, you got it, we need it. And that's been our philosophy. No, this is the criteria in which we do this. And then you apply that criteria equally across the province.
Forestry, if you're elected, forestry, are you going to make sure it's going to be bigger?
I think we need to understand that the true value and the intent of that contract is being adhered to. I've heard lots of comments from different, whether it be private woodlot owners, whether it be the marketing boards, and all questioning the concern. The concern at the time, obviously, was industries had closed. How many mills did we lose here in the province? And so how do we sustain an industry that's been so important to the province? So then the time is to look at and say, okay, is it achieving what it was intended to do? And that's maintain the livelihood and the industry in a province that it means so much.
One more thing before you go. Problem just like Colombo. I love doing that to this guy. His eyes. I love his eyes. I go, oh my God, one more. And then just like Colombo. How many comments did you get on being on Voice of the Province?
How many calls?
How many comments? Anybody say, oh, I seen you on Voice of the Province?
Oh, a few, but it's not a high level of
millions of people. Is there more here than Voice of the Province?
Well, you'd have to ask Roger that.
It was good. No, you got a lot of concerned calls?
Not a lot.
No.
We had, you were one.
Yeah, I know.
We had, 6, 7 calls or so.
So you with the property tax, you're going on that next week?
I dare say it'll be a point of discussion, yes.
Yes, and he's going to say, well, Mr. Speaker, as you know, we appointed a judge to investigate this, and really we cannot say anything until the investigation is done.
Appoint a judge whose mandate will be written by the Premier's office, and whose outcome of that mandate will be reported through the Premier's office to the public. So if you tell the judge what he's going to look at, and let's just use this as an example. You're saying, well, Justice Robertson, I want you to look at how do we fix this going forward. I really don't want you to look at how do we get in this mess to begin with. I want you to look going forward how we fix it. So what does that do? That just deflects the truth, the reality from the Premier's office of how we got in this mess to begin with to, oh, we have a solution. Well, you know, every solution starts with figuring out how you got there.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I understand the leader of the opposition, what he's trying to say, but the assumption, we have to wait till the investigation of the judge is done.
The Premier can state truthfully what happened. This isn't a public inquiry. This isn't a legal exercise. This is one that he has crafted in order to hide the people from the truth.
Mais je respecte, monsieur, encore. Je respecte ce que le ministre, ce que le leader de l'opposition essaie de dire. Mais une autre fois, il faut qu'on espère que le juge a fini son investigation.
Yeah. He'll keep repeating it.
And it's going to go on and on and on and
it's
on.
no different than the Minister of Health recusing himself from talking about Sedgwick, right? It's no different than the Minister of Alternate Facts. Now he hasn't talked for a while, right? In relation to because so many facts come out that are wrong. So yeah, it's the same thing. Find a shield to hide behind, pretend it's a real shield, and deflect from the truth.
I lied. One more thing. That's Parley Beach. Now, see, hey, I haven't had coffee in 15 days. Doesn't look like it. Maybe I'm less hyper. I'm thinking more. Listen, I offer you a challenge. Brian Gallant told me he will do this. This should be really good. Will you do a live stream go for a swim at Parley Beach?
Would I do a live stream?
Yeah, you know, to go for a swim.
And what's the purpose of this now?
I don't know. We're just watching to see Brian Gallant and you going for. Brian Gallant says he's going to go live stream, maybe in Parley Beach.
So what do we accomplish by that now?
We're showing that there's no germs, it's safe, that people won't get.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I want that beach to be as safe as anywhere in this province because that is a true tourist attraction for us. We cannot afford to have it not dealt with properly. I'm in favor of doing whatever it takes to clean that place up.
It's a raw sewage from the summer cottage.
Clean it up as needed and ensure to the public that it is safe to be there. We need to make that happen.
Excellent. Merci beaucoup.